good night. Yeah, no premiere. Thank you, Tim. I feel like a human being again. Whew, okay. I have poems that I'm supposed to read. Is it better if I project? Mike, what do we... Okay, I'm going to try Mike. If I don't like Mike, like the movie, I think, there was... Like Mike? You guys remember that movie? If I don't like Mike, then I'm going to put Mike down. But for now, we're going to play with Mike. And I don't like the podium because it makes me even more self-conscious about the grand experiment of poetry. So I wanted to start off tonight with a poem. And I'll end with a poem and all the middle parts of the poems too. But this is a poem called The Blimp. And, you know, as Tim mentioned, cancer. And there's sort of two terrible things about hospitals. Hospitals are gross and horrible, and you poo yourself and get blood everywhere. But they're also very boring. They're these really clinical, cave-like environments that are really terrifyingly boring. And this is sort of like a dream ode to the boring parts of hospitals that I've gotten to know very well. And it's sort of inspired by cave paintings and just being in those environments, which are really sacred, but also quiet, and eye exams, and sort of the many things that center around boringness. It's called The Blimp. The poem's not boring, don't worry. The Blimp. I thought above my head there was a blimp, and it trailed hoses covered in tacks, some of which inhaled and some of which blew air. And I thought the blimp was fate, and the shadow it cast was fate's decision that I stay in shadow. And I thought the world was growing craggy, everywhere illuminated with white chalk, but the shadow went down, down, and I was in a wheelchair riding down, and my body was swelling, my stomach and limbs swelling, and I was asked to describe some letters scratched on the wall, but making sense of them was difficult. So I loved them, like Mom. And many years later, in the spreading serenity, there was no place for this, as there is never a place for struggle in a living room where someone is pouring you ice water in exchange for grateful silence you learn to love. That poem was for Tim.